gave NASA went to the moon not long after that. And then George and Beth were left with this test. And they went, well, hey, while we've got this test, let's do something with it. And they wanted to know, when do people get creative? And so they thought, well, the test is simple enough, we could give it to 4 and 5-year-olds. So they went to some 4 and 5-year-olds, gave them the test, absolutely astounded by the results. That 98% of 4 and 5-year-olds are considered creative geniuses according to this test that NASA requested. 98% of 4 and 5-year-olds. And when we think about it, that doesn't really surprise us. 4 and 5-year-olds, 98%. And they were like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. If they already have the creativity, well, when do we start to lose it? Because it's certainly not 98% of the population now. So they decided to turn it into a longitudinal study. And they went back when the kids were 10 years old and they gave them the same test. Except this time, does anyone want to throw some figures out on how many of these kids were creative geniuses?
20%. I would say 1 in 100.
It was 30%, so you're not far off it. So in 5 years, it had dropped 70%. That just blows my mind and crushes my heart. That 70% of children by the age of 10 have lost that creativity genius level. It's not to say that they're not creative, but they've lost that really amazing spark of creativity. And they decided, well, that was a really significant shift, and they went back when the kids were 15. And does anyone want to throw some figures out on what they think the 15-year-olds came out at? Really close, 12%. 12% of 15-year-olds were considered creative geniuses. And the teachers actually asked them to stop the study because it was so disheartening for them. Absolutely asked them, right? That's awful. And so they decided to turn the test over to adults, and they tested over 200,000 adults. And does anyone want to guess how many of the adult population still are considered creative geniuses in adulthood? 2%. It literally flips. Only 2% of 4 and 5-year-olds were not considered creative geniuses. By the time we reach adulthood, only 2% are considered creative geniuses. And when you see it in a chart, it just really blows your mind. Just that significant drop. But the good news is, you can relearn to be creative. Does anyone have the right hemisphere of their brain? If everyone has the right hemisphere of your brain, then you have the capacity to be creative. And it could be something that you just need to tap into again, or your team needs to tap into again, and then get some benefits out of it.